This is Top Accolade Global News Update. I am Abiodun Mohammed. France has promised to send dozens more light tanks and armored vehicles to Ukraine and provide the necessary training for the country's soldiers to use them effectively. The announcement came after Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky flew into France late on Sunday to join French President Emmanuel Macron for a working dinner at the Élysée Palace in Paris. Paris would also focus its efforts in supporting Ukraine's air defense capacities in order to defend its population against Russian strikes. The statement also warned of enhanced sanctions. The visit to Paris was part of Zelensky's whirlwind weekend tour of several key European allies to drum up military and financial support ahead of an expected major Ukrainian counteroffensive against Russian forces. After securing a new $3 billion military package from Germany, Zelensky said in Berlin on Sunday that Kiev and its allies could make a Russian defeat irreversible as early as this year. In Paris, Macron reaffirmed that France will continue to provide political, financial, humanitarian and military support to Ukraine for as long as necessary, the statement said. A source at the French presidency told reporters that additional, more modern defense systems would be made available to Ukraine. Cyclone Cemetary has crashed ashore in Myanmar, leaving relief workers struggling to assess the extent of the damage because the storm caused major disruption to communications. One of the most powerful storms to ever hit the region crossed the coast of northwestern Rakhine State, south of the Bangladesh border on Sunday at about 1:30 p.m., uprooting trees, bringing down pylons and cables, and creating a tidal surge that inundated streets in the low-lying region. With winds of up to 250 km per hour, Mocha struck between Myanmar's Sitwe and Cox's Bazar in Bangladesh, the home to nearly 1 million Muslim Rohingya refugees who were forced out of Myanmar in a 2017 military crackdown that is now the subject of a genocide investigation at the International Court of Justice. The main Rohingya refugee camp in Cox's Bazar appeared to have been spared the worst of the cyclone, but it is likely to take some time for a clearer picture to emerge. In Myanmar, earlier reports suggested Sitwe, the capital of Rakhine State, had been badly damaged. Local media showed hoardings buckled and thrown onto the road, and falling trees and pylons blocking the streets. A storm surge of as much as 3.5 meters also caused extensive flooding in the low-lying area, according to a flash update on Sunday from the UN Office for the Coordination of Humanitarian Affairs, UNOCHA. A rocket has been fired at southern Israel from the Gaza Strip, the Israeli military said, a day after an Egyptian-mediated ceasefire ended 5 days of intense cross-border fighting. Shortly afterwards, on Sunday, explosions were heard in northern Gaza. The Palestinian group Hamas, which controls the besieged territory, reported that an outpost had been struck by Israel. However, there was no immediate comment from the Israeli military. Hamas said on its Voice of Al-Aqsa radio station that the rocket launched from Gaza was due to a technical error and claimed it was still upholding the ceasefire. Sirens went off just before sundown in a number of southern Israeli towns, sending residents running for shelter despite a truce that went into effect at 10 p.m. local time on Saturday. Israel's military said a single rocket fired from Gaza struck an open area. The renewed attack comes after Cairo, which brokered the ceasefire between Israel and the Palestinian Islamic Jihad movement in Gaza, called on all sides to adhere to the agreement. At least 33 Palestinians, including children, have been killed and 147 wounded in the besieged enclave since the bombardment started on Tuesday. One Israeli has also been killed. The fighting resulted in damage to essential infrastructure across the Gaza Strip, the United Nations said. President Tayyip Erdogan led comfortably in the first round of Turkey's election on Monday, with his rival facing an uphill struggle to prevent him extending his rule into a third decade in a runoff vote on May 28. Turkish assets weakened on the news, which showed Erdogan just below the 50% threshold needed to avoid sending the NATO-member country to a second round of a presidential election viewed as passing judgment on its autocratic rule. Pro-government media shared the outcome, with Yeni Safak newspaper proclaiming, in quote, "The people won," referring to Erdogan's People's Alliance that appeared to have won a majority in parliament, potentially giving him a crucial edge in the presidential runoff. In quote, "The winner has undoubtedly been our country," Erdogan said in a speech to cheering supporters at the headquarters of his ruling Islamist-rooted AK party in the capital Ankara. Going into the election, the opposition had sensed its best chance yet of unseating Erdogan, encouraged by polls showing him trailing his main challenger, Kemal Kılıçdaroğlu. But the results suggested Erdogan and his AK party had been able to rally conservative voters despite a cost of living crisis. Kılıçdaroğlu, head of his six-party alliance, vowed to prevail in the runoff and accused Erdogan's party of interfering with the counting and reporting of results, calling on his supporters in the country of 84 million to be patient. China will launch pilot projects in more than 20 cities to create a new era marriage and childbearing culture to foster a friendly childbearing environment, the latest move by authorities to boost the country's falling birth rate. China's Family Planning Association, a national body that implements the government's population and fertility measures, will launch the project to encourage women to marry and have children. The state-backed Global Times reported on Monday, promoting marrying, having children at appropriate ages, encouraging parents to share child-rearing responsibilities, and curbing high bride prices and other outdated customs are the focus of the project, the Times said. Cities included in the pilot include the manufacturing hub Guangzhou and Andan in China's Hebei province. The association already launched projects in 20 cities, including Beijing last year, the Times said. The project comes amid a flurry of measures Chinese provinces are rolling out to spur people to have children, including tax incentives, housing subsidies, and free or subsidized education for having a third child. That is the size of top accolade global news updates. You can follow us on our social media platforms as displayed on your screen. Happy New Week!